tried to get a picture of it, but like it just wouldn't load. And I was like, this is like the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Like it was like awe-inspiring. Like you could see like. Buddy. I'm trying to stay awake. I'm trying to stay awake so hard. So, welcome back to an episode of what are we doing? Behind the Toads. I hope you can hear me very well. I am trying to be quiet. Shaw is actively asleep on the other side of this wall. Look at this, actually. I'm going to sit back. We just got to California, to one of my friends' Airbnbs. It's really nice. Shout out John Lee to his dope abode. I don't know. I'm going to try to hold this. It's really bright outside, like it's like super bright. I might not be able to hold this. I don't think. Oh, you know what I have? No sunglasses is what I have. Damn, I forgot my sunglasses. So we just got to California. We're out in Yucca Valley currently. Hopefully you can hear all this. But we're out in Yucca Valley, and it is pretty dang gorgeous out here. Outside of the blinding sunlight, I'll give you a little panoramic over here. Oh, I'm clicking buttons. Dang. Do my eyes ever. It is very, very bright outside. Like I'm gonna have to. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay. Thank God I can actually function as a person now. I can look up and see things. So we got to Yucca Valley. I think, what time is it? 2 hours ago? 3 hours ago maybe? It's around like noon to 1, sorry. We've been driving, so today is Friday. We were running this place until Monday. And we left Thursday at 4 p.m. in Texas. And we got here roughly at like noon, 1 o'clock. We drove straight. At one point, I was like, hey, Shaw, we gotta stop. And we pulled over. We actually pulled over to, it's called, like, Seligman or something like that. Or no, Seligman. I think it's called Seligman. I hear dogs. I decided to not bring my Pew Pew out here, and I hope those are tame dogs, because I'm gonna break this chair if they're not. Sorry, John Lee. If your chair's broken and you see a dead dog on your property, that's why. Okay, they stopped. So we stopped at Radiator Springs. It's called like Seligman. It's in Arizona. I literally like coincidentally, I was like, hey Shaw, like look up where Radiator Springs was modeled after, because I can't show you this side of these glasses, by the way. So if I look this direction, there's a reason. But I was like, hey, show us where the Radiator Springs was modeled. And he goes, okay, and it was in Arizona, because I couldn't remember if it was Arizona or Nevada. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I definitely gotta look this way. Sorry. Branding things, I can't show that. I'll probably have to blur if I do show it. He was like, it's not real. And I was like, look it up. It's either Arizona or Nevada. And it was Arizona. And we drove through it. It was not good. There was like 11 motels. There was like real life tow mater and the sheriff. I don't remember what the sheriff's name was. There was like I think there was a part where it was like the whole gang minus a Porsche and a NASCAR. What was McQueen? Was he a vet? I don't remember what McQueen was. Also, side note, like you see me like fucking swinging for my life, there's these huge ass horseflies that are trying to kill us over here. They're gigantic. So we ended up stopping there, and Shaw was like, let's get a motel, we'll sleep there. And we were basically would have slept for like 4 hours. And I was like, no, we're not going to get a motel for 4 hours. Let's just pull into like a parking lot. We'll just pass out and wake up. So we pull into like a gas station parking lot or something. And I get a blanket for us, and I put on an alarm for like 3 hours so we can wake up. And he puts the blanket over his face, and he's like, I can't sleep. I was like, what? He's like, I'm just going to drive. So we ended up driving, and I'm just like passing out. And after like 20 minutes of attempting to pass out, I just wake up. We go to like this like really bad subway. And this is just like the end, by the way. I'll go back in a minute and talk about like what actually, how the beginning started. Because I feel like the beginning of the story is, there were like a few key moments. But recently this is what I'm remembering because my brain's all fuzzy. I've been up for like 26 hours, so pretty tired. 27 hours. I got up yesterday at noon, and now it's 3 p.m. the next day, so kind of tired. Dude, this pterodactyl is gonna like kamikaze me. I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna panic. We ended up going to like this like small subway, and it was like the worst subway I've ever had in my life. It was really bad, like really bad. Like the food was just terrible. Shaw's food sucked. My food sucked. The ladies who were there were, I guess they were trying their best. They were old as balls, and it was pretty bad. I was literally like paying for my food. And I was like, here's my card. And I was waiting to pay. And then she like looks at me and then walks away and goes to help someone else. And I know it was like ADD brain. I got it. I understand. But do that. Go like, hey, sit this down, turn around, press a button. Boom. That's all she needed. She literally came back, pressed the button. Yeah, it was done. I was like, oh, awesome. I was like, but I stood there for like 5 minutes because I just felt like a dummy. I was like, yeah. And I didn't bitch. I didn't moan. I just sat there. I was like, I've worked retail. I get it. I've worked food industry. I get it. I'm just going to hang out. I'm not going to be an ass. I ate the food. I paid for the food. There was a guy who was in there. Sorry, I can't cuss. Not on this channel. This poor dude, he decided he was going to get a wrap with eggs and veggies for some reason. I don't know why. I've never seen somebody get a wrap with eggs, period, at Subway, let alone with like nothing else, no meat, nothing. And they were like, do you want any sauce? And he listed 3 sauces. And he goes, I want like half a teaspoon. So that's not, this isn't like a culinary kitchen. These are squirt bottles. These are more like gelatinized like condiments. These aren't liquids that you can pour into a 2.5 ml syringe or something. Like, you know, like, calm down. So that was really annoying. The guy just kept walking around. I was like, dude, are you gonna pay for your terrible meal or not? Then went from there to what felt like an eternity of a drive. The first drive, so like, it was an 18.5-hour drive. I drove the first 9 hours. So from Texas to, I think we were in Albuquerque. I feel like we were in Albuquerque. I was like, hey, your turn. And pulled over. I was really like trying not to like give him the wheel, and not to say that Shot's a bad driver. I don't mind him driving. It takes a lot for me to trust you driving, and for him to drive is one of those things where I'm like, I trust you with my life, please don't kill me. So it's just weird. I think I got it from my dad. My dad, one time we were on vacation, he was like, if we're all gonna die, it's gonna be by my hands. And I was like, oh, thanks, Dad. That makes me feel really nice. But yes, it's really confusing because technically it's day 1 of Yucca Valley, but it's also day 2, or going on day 2. It's really weird. So it's like a weird road trip. We did discover, by we I mean I discovered, so I drove a Subaru Crosstrek, and dope car. I'm really glad I got it, and it has this feature that I just haven't yet to use. It's on cruise control, and it is I thought my mom's car had it, because my mom's car is like top of the line, has all the bells and whistles, and while my car is newer, I didn't think mine had the same advancements as hers. It has corrective steering, and what that means is that like if you're within the lines of the highway and you try to get over without turning, it goes, hey dummy, you can't do that. So it puts pressure behind your tire or your wheel to try to steer you back onto the road. I can just do this. There are some like limitations that we discovered, like if you're so big, there are some huge flies out here, dude. It's like bats. If you're driving next to like a diesel truck, right? It registers the diesel as a line for some reason, so it just like draws you to the diesel, which is terrifying. If you go from your lane to the other lane without putting your blinker on, it turns off the responsive steering for the moment. It turns it back on, but it turns it off for a second. If you don't have any lines, like on a dirt road, or if the lines like start fading in and out, it will freak out. It will like panic freak out. However, what I learned while I was driving, because I turned it on, I was like experimenting. Like, I'm not usually a cruise control person, but it was an 18.5-hour drive, so I wasn't gonna keep pushing my foot on the gas for 18 hours, or at least my 9. So I was like, we'll give it a shot. I'll do cruise control. So I was like, it's like pushing my hands towards the center of the road, and I was like, I wonder if it'll like keep doing that if my hands are off the wheel. And I do not recommend doing this. Do not do this. I repeat, do not do this. So what I did was I was like, what happens if you just let go of the steering wheel while it's on steering responsive, and you're like, if you're driving straight, it'll just kind of keep you in the lines, so you can just kind of like babysit it. But I was like, what happens if you go around a corner? Do not do this at home. So I went around a corner, and like Shaw was beside me, and I was like, hold on, and I started like letting go of the wheel. I'm like driving it, and the car turns, the whole wheel the steering wheel just turns and takes a turn. And I was like, oh my god, so bright. That hurts so bad. many sounds out here. It's wild. I'm just listening. There's this bird that's just flying around. So, sorry. ADD just kicked in. So, again, do not do that at home. Do not recommend. It is dangerous. Keep your hands on the wheel. 10 and 2. However you do it. My hands were at 10 and 2. I was just like hovering. Like if this was the steering wheel, I was just like fully prepared to grab the wheel and take control. I just wanted to see if the car would do it by itself, and it did. Really cool. So that was between Texas and New Mexico that I discovered that. Last time I went to New Mexico, we went through like central New Mexico, like we went through North Texas, west through central New Mexico. This time we went through like North Texas through the Panhandle, and then through like northern New Mexico, I guess. More northern than we went last time. And when we went through, like, when I say North Texas, I separate, most people I know separate this. The Panhandle is like the top northwestern chunk of Texas. Separate that entirely. That's a whole different region. North Texas is just like past the Panhandle, the rest of that northern area. That's North Texas. Then you can go to like northeast if you want to go like Texarkana, stuff like that. You just gotta specify. But we were like central North Texas, straight west. It was just all dirt the whole time. When we went through Amarillo and through New Mexico, eventually turned to like Route 66 somehow. We were like, where are we? Really cool, actually. That was pretty cool. I'm trying to think when it happened. We were a few hours in, and I was telling Shaw, I was like, I really want to go through a rainstorm, because we went through a couple rainstorms where we were at in like North Texas. But in New Mexico, like I kept seeing like thunderstorms and stuff in Texas, and when we hit New Mexico, I kept seeing more and more thunderstorms, and it was dark. We left at like 4 p.m. and it got dark at like 7:30, 8:30, like really early. And I just kept seeing like the lightning kept lighting up the sky. I was like, this is crazy. So at one point, we were listening to a song or something happened. Like I turned off cruise control. It was like the moment I turned off cruise control, like lightning struck, and the wind just went whoosh, and just pushed the absolute heck out of my car. I was like, whoa, like I have to like death grip my car to control it now. And I'm like, I dropped like 20-25 miles an hour. I was like, we have to go. I was going like 75, so I dropped down to like 50. And just to like not confuse people, I wasn't going 25. I was going relatively fast, but it was wild, and it was raining hard, like Forrest Gump difficult level hard, and I was super excited. I kind of really wanted to drive in the rain. I don't know why. I just really did. So we get through that. We're just driving, shooting the shit, talking, and I don't remember what happens. I think he's driving at this point. And it's like through New Mexico or Arizona, like between those two areas. And he says something, and I'm looking down, and I look up at like just the right moment, and I just see like a meteor, like a huge meteor, very bright, just go like straight through the sky. I was like, whoa. And we don't have a dash cam. We have no camera footage, no evidence. It was gorgeous, like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Second best to what I'm about to go into, but it was so pretty. And I told Shaw, I was like, one thing I really want to experience is seeing the stars in a non-light polluted area. Because I've always heard about it, like, oh, you can see the Milky Way, but I've never seen it firsthand. So I was like, oh, this is just BS, whatever. And my fellow gentlemen, you will know that if you have to go to the restroom while you're on the road, you could just pull over wherever and open 2 doors, and there you go, you got a porta potty. So I was doing that, like I was drinking water, Shaw was drinking water. We would do that, open the doors. I think we were in Arizona, and I opened the door, and like went to the restroom, and I was like staring up, and I just realized, like, it was a weird moment to realize this, but I just realized I could see all the stars. Like, I could see and I tried to get a picture of it, but like it just wouldn't load. And I was like, this is like the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was like awe-inspiring. Like, you could see like every little speckle in the sky, and it just like, you could see the depth of the stars, and I was like, whoa, this is nuts. So that like just put me in perspective. Like, I'm just like a little baby amongst all those stars, and I was like, this is cool. So I can't remember anything else spectacular happened. We went to Radiator Springs, and I was passing out. I was passing out. We finally got to California. When we got to Cali, we went to the border, and I didn't know you had to get your car inspected when you go to the border. And when we got there, like, we were like, he was making a joke because we brought our bikes, and those bikes were just rocking and rolling. Somehow they have lasted to California through like a whim. This last bit, like the last mile stretch, was just like the hardest they've ever been rocked, just because it's all sand and bumps, and it's just bumping those bikes everywhere. So we were making a joke saying like, they're not gonna let my bike go through because it's just a rust bucket. So we get up there, and there's like one of the most gorgeous Native American women I've ever seen in my life. I was like, oh my god, like, don't tell my wife I looked at you. That was hot. And I was like, Shaw, you need to hit on her. And like she just said, she's like, waved us by, and we went on, and we like made jokes like, hey, like, I don't know, just jokes about how he would hit on her, not how I would, but how he would hit on her. Then we went to like we went to like a gas station in California. Oh my god, I did not, like, I knew gas was bad here, but I don't think I understood how bad gas was here. Like, it was like almost $6 a gallon. I was like, oh, that's rough. So we went from like BFE desert. I did like a small little segment that I'll probably do as an intro, where we were like in like a salt field. It was pretty cool. But went from there to like Crack Central. Like, there was a bunch of just crack sheds everywhere, and we didn't have the camera at this point. This was before the salt lake, or the salt area. And we went from there to a gas station, and there was like a pretty woman beside us who had kids, and Shaw was like, I don't think he's into women with children, so he was like, oh, she's pretty, but I'm okay. And I was like, go inside. There's an attractive woman at the counter. Go get her, buddy. And then we drove down. He didn't do anything. We drove down the road a little bit, and there was like another attractive woman who, I don't know if she was hitchhiking or what was happening, but I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like, where we're from, everyone was like, oh, like, this county's 7 is, or this county's 10 is a California 7. I just didn't understand what that meant. And I'm a happily taken man. I'm engaged. I'm fully in love and committed. But like, damn, dude, if I could just make Shaw get a girl here, I'd be like, take her back, go back to Texas, let's go. This little bunny. Oh, it's a chipmunk. See it? Sorry, a chipmunk came out of like left field over there. Fully committed man, love my girlfriend, beautiful woman. want her to mother my children one day. I'm just trying to get Shaw a gorgeous woman, and I think I might have took the most beautiful woman in Texas, so he's got to get a hottie from California. So this chipmunk's throwing me off. I'm trying to compliment my beautiful future wife, and there's a cute ass baby bunny dog, and I don't know where it went. I don't think anything else really happened outside of us getting here. No, I lied. Shaw doesn't know how to correctly direct people through sandy areas, because he goes, hug this, and whenever I hear hug, that means get close to something. But what he meant to say was straddle the middle, because he said hug that, and he pointed to the left. What he was doing was pointing to the middle, but I just saw a finger and I heard hug, and I went, oh, hug the left wall. Got it. So I like crept up the left wall. What he meant to say was straddle the middle, and he did not say that at all. So yeah, I think Shaw's actively asleep. I probably said that about 20 minutes ago. So I am gonna go at least lay down. Maybe I don't want to really sit out here. It feels great, but it's so bright it hurts my eyes, and I just don't want to see the outdoors for a moment. So I'm probably gonna go inside, hang out for a bit, drink some water, and lay down. Tomorrow is the big day. It's confusing because today we're not doing anything. Today we're just resting, and I have to stay up pretty much as late as I can. It is, oh my god, it's only 1. So I have not stayed up for 20 something hours. Now it's been 24 hours. Or no, I'm not all here, dude. It's been 27 hours, whatever I said at the beginning, because I'm in California time now. But I'm looking at my watch, and I woke up with this watch in Central Standard Time, and it is actively in Central Standard Time. So I'm going to trust this, but I know it's Pacific Coast time, or whatever it is. So we're 2 hours behind what I should be. So it's only like 1, which sucks, because I got like 7 more hours, so I can really go to sleep and effectively wake up and go down to Southern California, which sucks. It's like a 2-hour drive. We'll get through it though. We'll get through the hike. We're gonna go to the Yucca Valley Trestle, and we're gonna go bike it, hike it, and take some pictures, and live a little journey, get a little adventure going. Thank you for watching this episode of Behind the Jodes. We will hopefully be back tomorrow to film some more stuff. Actually, before I go, I am going to show you our ghetto rig for our bicycles. I'm probably going to have to blur a little bit because my license plate, obviously, but just pay attention to all the zip ties, because he was like, we don't need all the zip ties, and I got like 250 of them, and we used a bunch. Let's do this.